Welcome to Starlight Sci-Fi, where we explore the strange, the impossible, and the stories that push the boundaries of science fiction. In this documentary, we uncover a mystery that has stunned the most advanced minds in the galaxy. How is it that Earth's deadliest creatures, wolves, eagles, even oceanic monsters, follow the commands of a species that should be their prey? What secret force allows humans to turn apex predators into loyal companions? And if they can do this with the animals of their own world, what happens when they set their sights on the galaxy? Prepare for a journey into one of humanity's greatest mysteries. The universe is vast, filled with powerful civilizations, mighty predators, and unstoppable forces of nature. Yet, among them, one species stands apart: humans. They do something no other intelligent race can. They command the beasts of their world, not through strength, not through fear, but through something far more terrifying. Today, the Galactic Council asks a question that could change the balance of power forever. How do humans control their predators? The Galactic Council had observed thousands of intelligent species across the universe. They had documented warlike empires, peaceful diplomats, hive minds, and solitary wanderers. They had seen creatures that bent light, organisms that lived in the vacuum of space, and civilizations that spanned entire star clusters. But nothing had ever disturbed them quite like humanity. It wasn't their technology that concerned the Council. Humans were not the most advanced species. It wasn't even their aggression. Many species were more warlike. No, what unsettled the Council was something far stranger. Humans had done the impossible. They had tamed their world's apex predators. This was not normal. Across the cosmos, intelligent species either eliminated their threats or lived in constant fear of them. Predators ruled the wild, and sentient beings built walls to keep them out. It was the natural order. Yet Earth did not follow this rule. Humans lived alongside creatures that should have been their greatest enemies. Massive, muscle-bound felines with dagger-like teeth curled up beside them in their homes. Towering wolves, built for endurance hunting, stood loyally by their sides. Birds of prey with talons sharp enough to pierce armor willingly landed on their arms. Even creatures from the depths of the oceans responded to their calls. At first, the Council assumed it was biological dominance. Perhaps humans released pheromones that pacified these creatures, or maybe they had developed advanced neural implants to control them. But no such evidence existed. These animals were not brainwashed, drugged, or manipulated with hidden technology. They simply obeyed. The implications were terrifying. No other species had achieved this level of control over predators. Even the most advanced civilizations struggled to manage their ecosystems. And yet, here was a species that had not only survived among Earth's deadliest creatures but had bent them to their will. How? The Council had to know. If this ability was natural to humans, it could pose a catastrophic threat to galactic stability. If it was something that could be learned, it could become the most valuable power in the universe. A decision was made. A covert team of researchers would be sent to Earth to observe, study, and, if possible, replicate the phenomenon. What they would soon discover, however, was far beyond anything they had feared. The secret to humanity's power was not what they expected. It was not mind control, pheromones, or brute force. It was something far more dangerous, something no other species had ever mastered. And once the aliens realized the truth, it was already too late. The Galactic Council wasted no time. A covert team of xenobiologists, behavior analysts, and intelligence officers was dispatched to Earth. Their mission was simple: uncover the secret behind humanity's control over apex predators and determine whether it could be replicated, or, if necessary, contained. The researchers knew they had to proceed with caution. Humans were unpredictable, and their ability to form bonds with dangerous creatures could not be underestimated. The first step was to isolate one of Earth's many predators, an animal that humans had supposedly tamed. The team captured a wolf, an apex hunter whose ancestors had once ruled the forests of Earth. It was placed in a controlled environment within an underground research facility, surrounded by advanced security measures. The scientists had studied predator behavior on countless worlds. They understood how to break an animal's will, through hunger, through force, through chemical conditioning, yet no matter what methods they used, the wolf refused to submit. It snarled, pacing in its enclosure, its golden eyes filled with unyielding defiance. This made no sense. According to human records, wolves had been transformed into obedient companions, dogs through selective breeding over generations. If this were true, then the domestication process should have been something measurable, repeatable. Yet, despite the aliens' best efforts, their test subject remained wild. The researchers were forced to take a risk. They introduced a human into the experiment. This was a last resort. Exposing their mission to an Earth native was dangerous, but if they wanted to see the phenomenon in action, they needed a control subject, one who had never seen the wolf before. The human was given no weapons, no tools, no means of restraint. They were placed inside the enclosure with only their presence. The scientists watched, expecting the wolf to attack. It didn't. Instead, something strange happened. The human made soft sounds, their tone neither aggressive nor fearful. They moved slowly, deliberately, showing no signs of dominance or submission. The wolf, which had been unresponsive to all alien attempts at control, hesitated. Days passed. The human continued interacting with the animal, making no effort to force obedience. The researchers, growing impatient, prepared to terminate the experiment. Then, without warning, the wolf's behavior changed. It no longer paced restlessly. It no longer growled at the presence of another. It sat beside the human. The transformation had begun. The aliens had spent weeks trying to force control through logic, through calculated reinforcement. But the human had done something else entirely. They had earned the wolf's trust. And that was something the researchers had never accounted for. The alien researchers were baffled. Every principle of predator control they had studied across the galaxy had failed, yet a single human had accomplished in days what their technology could not. The wolf, once hostile and unyielding, now followed the human, responding not to force, but to something intangible. This defied everything they knew about dominance and submission. Among most intelligent species, control over aggressive creatures was established through one of three methods: physical superiority, chemical influence, or technological reinforcement. The strong ruled by fear. The cunning used drugs or implants. The advanced relied on neural conditioning. Yet the humans had used none of these methods. The scientists meticulously documented the interactions. They tried to break them down into logical patterns. The human offered food, but the wolf did not submit because of hunger. It had refused the same food from the aliens. The human made sounds, but they were not commands in the traditional sense, nor were they part of any known universal communication patterns. Even stranger, the human sometimes touched the wolf light, careful gestures that seemed to have no clear function. Yet, each time, the wolf responded, gradually lowering its guard. Desperate for an answer, the researchers attempted to mimic the human's actions themselves. One alien, dressed in an environmental suit, approached the wolf in the same manner, offering food and making soft vocalizations. The result was immediate and brutal. The wolf recoiled, snarling, in clear rejection. The same actions that had led to submission under the human had no effect when performed by the alien. This was a problem. If humans had been using some hidden biological mechanism, pheromones, microsignals, or electromagnetic pulses, the researchers could have studied and replicated it. But this was something intangible, something that could not be measured, synthesized, or controlled. They reviewed historical data. Humans had done this not just with wolves, but with an entire range of predators: lions, tigers, bears, even creatures of the deep oceans. Some had taken generations to domesticate. Yet even wild, untamed animals often showed this strange response to humans who approached them in a specific way. The conclusion was disturbing. It was not about control. It was not about dominance. It was something deeper, something that existed beyond physical laws. A bond. The researchers had spent their entire lives in pursuit of knowledge, believing that all things could be explained through science and reason. But now they faced something they had no words for, no formula to define. The humans had succeeded where all logic had failed. And that made them dangerous. The alien researchers could no longer deny it. Humans had unlocked a force unlike anything the Galactic Council had ever encountered. It was not physical strength, nor was it technological superiority. It was not a form of manipulation, nor a hidden biological advantage. The humans wielded something entirely unique, the ability to form unbreakable bonds with the very creatures that should have been their predators. The scientists turned their focus to observation, scanning through thousands of hours of human records. Every example they uncovered only deepened their confusion. A child sleeping curled up with a massive canine descendant of wolves, completely unafraid. A falcon, a bird designed by nature to kill, choosing to return to a human's arm rather than remain free. A diver swimming alongside sharks, completely unharmed. Again and again the pattern repeated. Humans did not demand obedience, they earned it. This was beyond comprehension. No other intelligent species had achieved this. The few civilizations that had attempted domestication relied on controlled genetic engineering, behavioral conditioning, or forced dependency. But humans, their bonds with animals were not built on control. They were built on trust. The most unsettling realization came when the researchers studied cases of so-called wild animals choosing humans over their own kind. Wolves, after bonding with humans, rejected the call of the wild. Birds, with the entire sky at their disposal, returned to a waiting hand. Even great ocean predators, creatures evolved for independence, demonstrated loyalty to humans. The implications were terrifying. If humans could form these bonds with Earth's creatures, what stopped them from forming similar connections elsewhere? What if they could do this to alien species? Could this strange force extend beyond animals? Could they tame more than just predators? The Galactic Council had spent centuries maintaining control through diplomacy and warfare. Empires were built and destroyed by strength, by alliances, by fear. But humans were something else entirely. They did not conquer through force. They did not intimidate with technology. They changed those around them. The Council's control over the galaxy was built on predictable rules. The strong ruled, the weak submitted, and the indifferent remained separate. But if humans could bend apex predators to their will, what else could they turn into allies? The researchers were no longer simply curious. They were afraid. This power was more than just a quirk of Earth. It was a weapon unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. And the worst part, the humans didn't even know they had it. The Galactic Council had seen enough. Humanity's ability to bond with predators was not a harmless curiosity, it was a threat. If left unchecked, this strange force could disrupt the balance of power across the stars. If humans could form these bonds with creatures on their own world, what was stopping them from doing the same elsewhere? What if they could turn the galaxy's most dangerous beings into allies? The Council's decision was swift and absolute. The research had to be erased. The wolf, the human test subject, and every scrap of data collected, all of it had to be eliminated. This knowledge could never be allowed to spread. A containment protocol was initiated. A team of elite operatives descended upon the research facility under the cover of darkness. Their orders were clear: terminate the experiment, eliminate the human, and remove any trace that the study had ever existed. The operation was planned with surgical precision. The facility's power was cut, security feeds were wiped, and every corridor was flooded with an incapacitating nerve agent designed to neutralize all organic life inside. Within moments, the complex was silent. Or so they thought. The first sign that something had gone wrong came when the extraction team reported back empty-handed. The facility was deserted. The human test subject was gone. The wolf was missing. Every containment measure had failed. Panic rippled through the council. The agents combed through the records, trying to determine what had happened. Security footage had been erased, but traces of the last recordings remained. What little they recovered sent a chill through them. The human had escaped, but they had not done so alone. The wolf had not been an experiment, it had been a test of something far greater. And the test had succeeded. The creature had fought alongside the human, not as a trained servant, but as a partner. Somehow, the human had forged a connection so strong that the wolf had been willing to risk everything for them. And it had not been the only one. Reports flooded in from across the region. Packs of wild animals had begun moving with unnatural coordination. Birds of prey disrupted surveillance drones. Large mammals had started gathering near human settlements, acting not as scattered individuals, but as an army. This was no longer just a research failure. It was an uprising. The humans had done what no other species had ever managed. They had not conquered their predators. They had recruited them. And now, the galaxy would learn what that truly meant. The Galactic Council had always viewed Earth as an insignificant world, a planet teeming with biological chaos, too unpredictable to be of strategic value. They had assumed humans were no more than an emerging species, bound by the same limitations as all others. But now, they understood their mistake. Humanity's power did not come from technology or brute force. It came from something far more insidious, something the Council had never accounted for. They did not subjugate. They did not dominate. They bonded. The containment failure at the research facility was only the beginning. Surveillance teams reported strange activity across Earth. Creatures that should have been wild were moving in unnatural coordination, responding to the presence of humans as if part of a vast, unseen network. Apex predators, beasts that should have been solitary hunters, were working together in ways that defied every known instinct. At first, the Council believed this was a coincidence, a quirk of Earth's ecosystems. But as they observed further, the truth became undeniable. These animals were not simply acting on instinct. They were choosing to follow humans. The realization sent waves of panic through the Council chambers. If humans could turn predators into allies, then they held a power unlike anything in the known universe, a power that could spread beyond their own world. The Galactic Council attempted to intervene, their agents deployed to Earth in secret, determined to sever these unnatural bonds before they could take root. But their missions failed every time, not because the humans detected them, not because the humans fought back, but because nature itself turned against them. The first disappearance was dismissed as an accident. A Council agent, deployed in a remote forest, vanished without a trace. Then another, and another. Each time the pattern was the same: scattered remains, torn gear, no survivors. The official reports blamed Earth's hostile wildlife, but those who reviewed the evidence saw something far more disturbing. The attacks were coordinated. They were not the work of mindless predators. They were calculated, precise, as if the creatures were protecting something or someone. For the first time, the Galactic Council felt fear. If humans could build bonds with the apex predators of their world, what else were they capable of? Could they do the same with alien species? Could they extend their influence beyond Earth? The Council had planned to contain humanity. But now, they realized a terrible truth. It was never humanity they had to fear. It was everything that stood with them. Panic spread through the Galactic Council. Their mission had been clear: contain the humans, erase the research, and prevent their ability from disrupting the balance of power. But now they faced an even greater nightmare. Humanity's strength was not confined to their own world. It was spreading, and the Council had no way to stop it. Reports flooded in from observation posts near human settlements. Creatures of all sizes, land, air, and sea, were showing unnatural coordination with human activity. Packs of wolves moved alongside human travelers, their eyes watchful. Falcons soared above military installations, spotting intruders before they could approach. Even creatures as large as bears and orcas had been seen exhibiting protective behavior toward humans, disregarding their natural instincts in favor of something more profound. The Council had underestimated the true nature of this phenomenon. It was not genetic conditioning. It was not training. It was not manipulation. It was something deeper, something that no other species in the galaxy had mastered. Loyalty. Not the kind forced through fear. Not the kind secured through chains or implants. This was different. This was willing. Humans were not alone. They had never been alone. From the moment they first walked the earth, they had been forging alliances not through conquest, but through connection. They had tamed their world not by force, but by trust. And now, as they stepped into the galaxy, they were carrying that ability with them. The Council could no longer ignore the truth. The true danger of humanity was not their weapons, not their technology, not their ambition. It was the simple, terrifying reality that they could change those around them. If they could form bonds with the apex predators of Earth, what stopped them from doing the same with alien creatures, with species the Council had long deemed uncontrollable, with entire civilizations? The Council had seen empires rise and fall. They had seen species fight for dominance, seen wars reshape the stars, but never had they encountered a force that did not conquer, did not intimidate, only welcomed. The decision was made. The Council would no longer interfere with Earth. They would retreat, erase their presence, and hope that humanity's influence never spread beyond their system. But deep down, they knew the truth. It was already too late. Humanity would not need warships to change the galaxy. They would not need threats, nor weapons, nor force. They would walk into the stars, followed not by armies, but by loyalty itself. And nothing in the universe would ever be the same again. What the Galactic Council learned changed everything. Humans were not just another intelligent species. They were something far more dangerous, beings who built unbreakable bonds, who could turn enemies into allies, and who held a power no empire could match. If they could command the predators of Earth, what else could they command? Thank you for watching Starlight Sci-Fi. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to subscribe for more thrilling sci-fi mysteries, alien discoveries, and the most mind-bending stories from the stars. See you in the next transmission.